The question is, why don't I do real price predictions? And the bigger question is, who actually gets price predictions right, and how close are they? And do they get more than even one price prediction correct going into the second, third, and fourth? We're going to answer all those things today and go over a couple of different pieces of information that I think you need to know. So the first thing is, this is actually from a couple of days ago. The question was, the statement, I like this channel, but please don't do these stupid predictions again. Do a real one, or just don't. Well, I have two options here. I should just actually stop doing them because I don't do price predictions. I used to do those in 2021 and they were all wrong, like everybody else's. So since 2023, I've just given you a ridiculous range to hopefully help you to understand that all price predictions are worthless. And I said this, my price predictions are just as worthless as anybody else's. They're all guessing, or they're lying so they can dump on you. How many people got one price prediction right? How many people got 2 or 3 or 4? It's literally 0%. So there was actually a good article from CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin price predictions in 2021 and who got it right. And guess what? People got it close and one person nailed it. So I'm going to link this in the description. You can check this out from everybody who gives price predictions. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, he said in January 2021 that said it's a big giant nothing burger. Eric Voorhees came pretty close. He said it's between 20,000 and 100,000. Peter Schiff, I think we know where he's landing. Chamath, who is a very smart individual in the All In podcast. He's been in traditional finance for decades. And with all of his limitless resources, he said it's going to go to 200,000. Not even close. And that was for 2021, mind you. We're not talking about this cycle in 2025. 2021, people were talking about 200,000. People were talking about 500,000. People were talking about everything under the sun, and nobody hit it right except for this guy, Michael van de Poppe. I think I said that right. And as of in December 2020, he said, yeah, 65,000. And in 2021, how did that happen? Well, first of all, you can follow Michael. He's got a great presence over on X, and he has also got a YouTube channel, which I find very interesting that he nailed the Bitcoin price prediction as opposed to all the different people that do nothing but follow Bitcoin, and they all got it wrong. Every single one of them didn't even get close, except for a guy who talks a lot about altcoins. Pretty crazy, right? And not only did he call it, 65,000 end of 2021, on April 20th, he said, guess what? Bitcoin bear market started, which I thought was pretty interesting at that time frame because it was a double top in 2021. I think some of us remember this. On April 13th, 2021, it was 63,000. And when Michael did that video on April 20th, it had gone down to only 56,000. And he calls it right there and says, this is a bear market. And if you would have listened to him, I know I didn't, it went all the way down to $29,000, essentially almost about 45% or so. So that is Michael's stance. They did a great job. Now moving forward, and like I said, price predictions are pretty much worthless. Pretty much everybody gets it wrong. And to get more than one right is even harder. Now, in his latest videos, I'm going to link his YouTube channel because he definitely deserves it. He talks about the best altcoin opportunities. And he talks about Ethereum and Chainlink and a host of others, things I've been talking about as well. And it looks pretty good. But then he deviates from what I believe by the 4-year cycles. I'd like you to watch this video, why Bitcoin's 4-year cycle is dead. And a lot of people are actually calling for the 4-year cycle to be dead. Now, I'd like you to give you a different opinion on this one. There was a video we did with Matt Crosby, lead analyst at Bitcoin Magazine Pro, and he makes a compelling case of why the 4-year cycles are not dead. I'll link that in the description. Also, we did just a review of the same thing, why the 4-year cycles are the same. But definitely watch this video because I think it'll help you to get a different point of opinion on where things are going. But this leads me to my last point before we get to my real price prediction, which is probably gonna be wrong, which is this. Even though people get it right, they're not staying right forever. Nobody's perfect out there, that is for sure. And as of 4 days ago, Michael, who really goes hard into altcoins, his portfolio is down 50%. as far as like his altcoin portfolio. Now he explains why and what happened. And I just found it interesting. I mean, he nails Bitcoin. He talks mostly about altcoins, and altcoins are down 50%. Anyhow, you can watch that video on his channel. So that would lead me to this. The question always is, well, Rob, where is Bitcoin going? And I'll tell you, I honestly have no idea. I'm looking for indicators that will lead us to near the all-time high, and then I'll be selling. I'll be selling also my altcoins, almost 100%. But if we look back, historically speaking, this is the truth. And the truth is that Bitcoin has never gone below the presidential election date of that price of that date. 2012, it hit $10, never went below. And that was when President Obama was elected. The first go around for Trump in 2016 on November 8th, it was $707, didn't go below that. 2020, Biden was elected. It never went below 14,133. In 2021, it got close. Went to, I think, around 16,700, but it didn't hit 14,000. And as of November 5th, 2024, when Bitcoin was 69,000 and Trump took his second presidency, the price was 69,432. So I don't expect it to go below that. But as a quick reminder, last cycle, we saw a 77% drop from the top, 67,000 to, 15,742. In 2017, 2018, it was an 84% drop. In 2013 and 2015, it was an 85% drop. So I could definitely see between 40 and a 50% drop from whatever the highs are. And if we want to take a look at it and just kind of see like where we could actually go, if we did like a 50% drop and we hit around 69,000, that means we would be somewhere in the vicinity of 140,000 Bitcoin. But I can't put it there. I can't say that's what it's going to be and that's the high. There's a ton of evidence out there. We can take a look at 200-week moving average, the bull market support band. We can take the MVRBZ score, a whole host of different things that are out there. And of course, it'll lead you to some opinion. But as far as like the bottom, well, that's the 69,000. Do I see the top? I can see Bitcoin going to 250K. Look for the indicators. There are plenty out there. Who knows where it's going to be? And if you're kind of like lost, like, well, what's indicators? There's a video, there's a link in the description, my crypto critical videos, where I talk about 10 different indicators I'm just watching for. And as soon as they get close, I'm selling. If you don't want to watch that, at least go to CoinGlass. Here's the bull market peak indicators. And right now it's telling you none of these have hit. You can hold 100%, 0% sell. And there's everything from the Pi cycle top, well, multiple, ETF to Bitcoin ratio, and a whole host of different things. And they're getting closer. That is very true. And I don't think we're that far away. But then lastly, I will say, if you're looking for the bottom, as far as tops, we always talk about the Pi cycle top. But did you know that there's actually a thing called a Pi cycle bottom? Well, this is on Ben's website. You can check that out. Links in the description, 10% off the first month. But we can see that the Pi cycle bottom is pretty damn close. It called the January 2015 bottom of $268, which was pretty much there. And then it called the bottom, and wow, look at that, 12th December 2018 at a Bitcoin price of 3,444. Now, it didn't do a great job over here. It called the bottom at roughly 20,000 of July of 2022. But of course, it took another 5 or 6 months to get us down to around November, when it was 15,000. But hey, pretty close. Would it be okay if you got to 60,000 and then it dropped down to 20,000 and you started to buy at 20,000? I think you'd be okay. So there's a host of information. Again, my price prediction, I don't think it's going to go below 69,000. The top, maybe 250. But again, it's anybody's guess. And that's all it is, guesses. So that's it for today. Like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. When we talk about is time sensitive. That's it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next one.